Hello, this is James Hugo Adeya, and I just have a small presentation. Today, we're gonna look at this monster called corruption. And before we continue, let us have a word of prayer. God in heaven, we thank you so much for allowing us to have this opportunity. Humbly request you that you may be with me from the beginning to the end, so that this may glorify your name above all. In Jesus' name we pray and believe. Amen. Today we want to look at this word or this monster called corruption. Why? In this country that we live in, whenever you walk, you'll hear everyone telling you that this is Kenya. And so if someone is shocked that corruption is so serious, or everywhere he walks he sees corruption, someone will tell you this is Kenya, so that is the order of the day. And so you should not be shocked. Whenever you go, there is corruption. When you go to school, there is corruption. Even in churches, there is corruption. Right back at home, where we come from, where the families, the units of these nations, the basic units of this nation, our families, that's where corruption starts. Today, you want to send your child to shop. This is your child, you have every right to send him, but you still have to tell him, Daddy, please go, I want to send you. When you come back, I'm gonna give you such a thing. That is corruption. You don't have to give your child something for you to send her. It is your right to send him, and it's a responsibility to go whenever he is sent, because he is your daughter. And as long as you are not giving him or burdening or making him do something that is beyond his ability to do. Listen, corruption also is in the churches. You go to churches, figures are cooked so that someone comes up with something that suits whatever you wanted to have. And so you can even have functions, church functions happening every here and there, people going every here and there. Whenever people want to give reports, they come up with very nice reports, but when you dig deep into these reports, they are cooked figures. I remember one day when I was somewhere handling a certain function, and I was in charge to ensure that there is accountability. And so the people we were hosting were church members, Christians. And I remember the money that this group was supposed to pay was a lot in millions. And so, because I was the one who was supposed to give okay, or to approve the transaction and everything that was happening, I was called late in the night. 5 leaders from the headquarters of the church, and these leaders from the headquarters sat me down. They told me, James, you want us to change the figures. You see, even you have a family. So we want to change figures because, after all, if the figures remain the same, what are you going to benefit? And what are you going to benefit? I told them, one, I'm very sorry. I'm not ready to do that because my God and my faith doesn't allow me to do that. So, by the way, I am a staunch Seventh-day Adventist. Adventism doesn't entertain or teach people to participate in corrupt deals. Adventists, we are taught to do things that are transparent, and we always need to be accountable. That is one of our fundamental beliefs as stewards of God. Secondly, I told the person that, listen, the management has put me here on behalf of them, so that whatever report I give, that one, they will rely on it, they will depend on it, because they believe that that is the correct report. How can I betray the people who had put such a trust in me, so that I can cook figures so that for one day or for one or two reasons I can benefit or take some money home. No, I could not compromise my stand simply because I was to get some money to take home. No. I told them I don't have a price, by the way. I don't have a price because we just have to do what is right. I remember the leaders, they told me all manner of things. Some I can't even mention here, but these are church leaders. That's why I'm saying that corruption is even in our churches. Corruption is even in the schools, in the institutions, government institutions. Everywhere there is corruption. But it's at reach a point where everyone feels like this thing can never be defeated. It is beyond our ability to defeat or to slay this monster. But today I want to tell you without fear or favor, it is possible to slay this monster called corruption in our country, Kenya. Why? Because it starts with us. These things are not done by animals. They are not done by non-living things. They're done by beings, human beings who have senses, who have the ability to choose what is right or wrong. The willpower, something that will determine your eternal destiny. You have the right to participate in corruption or not. You have the right. You have the freedom. Everyone has the willpower to do this. Listen, I want to tell you that corruption has serious consequences. If you get involved in corruption, sometimes you might think that you are benefiting. You might think that you are not enjoying life. Maybe you are in a government office. You are going there. You are taking money that doesn't belong to you. Bribery. A Kenyan has a right to get the service, but instead of giving him the service that he deserves, what happens? He again has to pay something for him or her to receive the service. Listen, there is a government project somewhere that's happening, but because you have the opportunity, you have the influence, you influence the deals and everything, at the end of the day, there's something you are taking home. So you move around with very expensive cars. You are living in a very expensive house. Your kids are attending very expensive schools, international schools, and then you feel that you are now okay. I want to tell you this. Corruption has consequences. And the first consequences starts with you. You might think that you are now enjoying life, but the truth is, you're gonna pay for it painfully. This shall follow you. Listen to me. For example, if you're working in a government office, listen, there is money that would have been used to construct a road. You took this money, put it into your private bank account. Now listen, a car is moving or a lorry is moving from a certain direction. The road is in a poor condition. The car is involved in that accident simply because someone decided to divert the money to his own pocket, money that would have been used to construct a road. How do you see? What do you expect when that family loses a father, when that kid loses a mother, the only breadwinner, when the tears go down? Don't you think that God is seeing the tears? And don't you think that you will have to answer, you have to be held answerable for this? My friend, sometimes you take your kids to schools. Maybe the schools that your kids are going right now, they are not able to afford it if you were to depend on your normal salary. But today, they are going in very expensive schools. You are paying the school fees with money which doesn't belong to you. You've decided to build the foundation of their life, their academic life, on corruption. Let me ask you, do you know that this is going to follow? And that is why when you get involved in corruption, it's not only you that's gonna be affected or gonna be paid for it. Even your family, your descendants are going to pay for it painfully. That is why you will prove me right today if you just decide to analyze this carefully. Can you look at families of those people who used to get involved in funny deals, dirty deals? People who've been oppressing people, whom their whole lives they used to oppress people. I mean, whenever they were around, someone had to cry. Look at their life. Look at their families. Look at their second, third generation. Just take your time to analyze the families of these individuals. You will find that the curses, the results, the consequences of what the big man did is following. Not just it's not following not only the man, but even the second, the third, and even the fourth generation. Listen, you get involved in corruption, you feel that you are doing what is right because it's the end of the day. But I want to tell you this, these have dire consequences. You're gonna pay for them individually, painfully. Gonna pay for it. Gonna follow you. Gonna follow your family. Because you are taking someone's. I want to give you an example. For example, you are working in the medical field. You've taken medicine in a public hospital. And there is someone who pays tax. He comes to hospital, he wants to get medicine. He doesn't get. What happens? Maybe he loses his life. Simply because he cannot afford to buy medicine maybe in a private pharmacy. You're gonna pay for this painfully. When the families of the deceased cry, I'm telling you, the creator of this universe sees every tear that drops. Every tear that drops. Listen, corruption has consequences. It has very, very serious consequences. It affects you individually, and it also affects other people who maybe did not plan, but because they were connected to you, like maybe your family, they're gonna suffer because you decided to be involved to get involved in corruption. Corruption is eating our nation. It's eating our country, Kenya. Listen, my friend, you are a doctor or you are a public servant. There you are. You are paid salary by Kenyans to serve. And then when you go there, I mean, you are supposed to serve. You are supposed to provide a file. You are supposed to ensure that somebody gets service at the right time. But use as an excuse, oh, I can't see the file. And so nowadays, even Kenyans know that if you go to a public office and the officer tells you that you can't see that the file cannot be traced, so you have to dig into the pocket and do something, toa kachai. So when you do that, the file will come out very fast. You want to apply for a document, so if you get involved corruption, you have connection, the document that normally takes a week or two, you get it in the shortest time possible. Only simply because you decided to get involved in bribery. I want to tell you this. Apart from the one who is in charge of providing this service, even you, fellow citizen, who entertains this habit, because for us to defeat this monster and slay this monster, kill this monster, it has to begin with me. It has to begin with you. You have to take a step as Kenyan to say no to corruption. It is better to go the long way, to go the painful one, so that you pay for the price. You pay the price of even waiting, than get involved in corruption in the name of saving time and the name of saving some other issues that maybe do not even matter. Listen, even you, when the other individual or the officer has to pay for the consequences, you are also part of that deal. you also have a share. You also have a part to answer. You also have to answer. Listen, Kenyans, I want to tell you this. It is possible to live a corrupt-free life. It is possible. It is possible. If you can stand for the truth, John 8:32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Can you stand for the truth? Can you stand for what is right so that you can be free? And it says in John 8:36 that if the Son sets you free, you shall be free indeed. Can you stand for what is right so that the Son of the living God can set you free and you can be free indeed? Because when you get involved in corruption, you are not free. You are bound by something. You are not free. Because you depend on one day when someone who maybe is your godfather, maybe someone who makes you to get something is not around, or maybe if someone who made you get something, he wants some favors. I mean, you will not have the freedom, you will not have the strength to say no, because first he had bought you by ensuring that you get involved in corruption, giving you favors that you would have avoided. I want to tell you this. I love this. There's one prolific writer called Ellen G. White. He said this in one of his famous books called Education, page 57. He said this, that the greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who will not be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is true to duty as the needle to the pole. Men who will stand for the right though the heavens fall. Men who will stand for the right though the heavens fall. And this character, I love what he says. He says in his book Education, page 57. You can get it in the internet. You can search for it, Ellen G. White, in a book of Education, page 57, paragraph 3. You can go to paragraph 4. He says, but this character, such a character is not something that you just wake up and that you do what this writer is saying. But he say that, but such a character, in paragraph 4, but such a character is not a result of accident. It's not due to special favors or endowments of providence. A noble character is a result of self-discipline, the surrender of self, the surrender of self, the subjection of the lower to the higher nature, the surrender of self for the service of love to God and humanity. Listen, that we must be ready to stand for what is right, because one, we will be held answerable to God. As you get involved in corruption, remember, God will hold you answerable in the last day. You'll have to stand you have to stand and answer for what you did. Again, humanity as a steward of God, as a steward of the Most High God, you need to do what is right, so that other humanities can also be happy, people who are around you. My friend, my brothers and sisters, today I want to tell you this. It is possible. If you want to see us living in a corrupt, free nation, it has to begin with you. The revival, the change. Don't wait for someone else to bring change. The change has to begin with you. And then when somebody else also changes, you change, the other one changes, we'll have change in the whole community, in the whole society. I love this what the former Chief Justice, Justice David Maraga, said. By the way, I really love this man, and I even mentioned my last born son. I even named him after this great hero of the Republic of Kenya, because I told God, if you bless me with a baby boy, I'll name him after this great hero. He's truly a hero, and he left a legacy, and we shall never forget him. David Kinani Maraga, this is a hero. He said this, that the greatness of any nation lies in its fidelity to the Constitution and strict adherence to the rule of law, and above all, the fear of God. Listen, as a country or as citizens, if you are ready, every public officer, he signed and he agreed to the terms and conditions of his job. Everyone, every public officer, and even everyone who works in the private sector, my friend, you signed and accepted that you ensure that you will honor God and you will not be involved in any corrupt deal. You will be transparent in whatever thing that you say. And because you did vow, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verses 4, says that it is better not to vow than vow but not fulfilled that which you did vow. Please, can you change? The change has to begin with you. I need to change. You need to change. He need to change. She need to change. All of us need to change so that we live in a corrupt-free nation to the glory of God, and to the also uplifting of humanity. May God bless you. Thank you.